welcome to this week's live timeline session. I have some exciting things to announce, but first let me just talk about what these are for anybody who doesn't know what these are about yet. So I am going through one of the timelines from my method book, the Next Generation Clarinet Method, along with the actual PDF method book. It also comes with these timelines that are sort of guides to help you implement the book depending on your level. So there's sort of a beginner one, an intermediate one, and an advanced one, so that depending on whatever level you're at or whatever place you are in your clarinet journey, you can go through and know which exercises from the book to do, in which order, and what to get out of them, so that you can actually use the program to improve your playing. This is the intermediate timeline. It's called the mastery timeline because it's all about mastering the fundamentals, which is sort of the intermediate thing to do. And I'm a little bit over halfway through, actually. I'm really excited. We're starting to get towards the end of this, and I feel like I've gotten some benefits out of it, actually, even though these are exercises that I wrote and that I've played before. Actually going through in a sort of organized way like this has been really helpful. My two other interesting announcements. One is I'm playing on the D'Addario Venn synthetic reed, so it's a little bit different than my normal setup, but I've been testing these out, and I think if all goes according to plan, my review of these is going to come out this Saturday on the QuickStart Clarinet YouTube channel, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. I have lots of thoughts about these reeds. And the second exciting announcement, I was actually almost late for the live timeline session because I was working on my new live training that is going to be on June 25th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm very excited for this training. I think there's going to be a ton of value in it. It's all about fixing your clarinet problems. After having taught the clarinet for almost 10 years now, there's these problems that come up very, very regularly with my students, and I've come up with some pretty effective ways for teaching them and sort of how to overcome the problems, the solutions, if you will. So I'm very excited for that after sort of finalizing what I'm going to be talking about in there. I think it's going to be an awesome training. You can go to quickstartclarinet.com/solutions to learn about that. I forgot to put that link in the description on this video again because I was running a little bit late, but that's where that'll be, quickstartclarinet.com/solutions. And it doesn't look like I can type in the chat or the comments here very easily. So quickstartclarinet.com/solutions for a great, it's completely free training. And even if you aren't available June 25th at 11 Mountain Time, I would still recommend registering for it because the people who register will be the first to know about where the replay link is, because there will be a replay of it and a recording, again, if all of the technology goes according to plan. So let's get started today with today's session. So let me pull up my timer. We have still the same daily warm-up. We're actually, next week will still be the same daily warm-up, and then I think the week after that we change to a new daily warm-up, so that'll be good. I still have a few more chances to get as much as I can out of these warm-ups. So let me pull up my timer, and then we'll start with some of the Christmas tree long tones. Now let's see, for Christmas tree, yeah, I'm just going to do it as written. I think there's a lot of value to get out of it as written. Maybe experimenting with dynamics a little bit and trying to play it softer to get a little bit more out of it, but there's definitely still lots to do it as written. Let me actually adjust my angle a little bit. I think it's a little bit too high. There we go. So that's the long tones. You'll notice I went back and did a couple of them. I felt like I was rushing just a little bit to try to finish it in time. And also, I really liked the higher C sound quality. So I did that C to C again to see if I could get the lower C to match the higher C, which I think went pretty well. Next up, we have technique, which is the ascending scales. And I can't remember what key I did last week. I think it was E flat. So I think I'll go on to A flat. Actually, there's a way I can check real quick. So I started with C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat. Okay, so I think I'm on D flat this week. That's what I'll do. And of course with the metronome. And this key is where it starts to get a little bit trickier, so we'll see. I might need to slow it down. This is actually going pretty well. I didn't use my left pinky E flat, so I'm going to go back and try to actually use that. And on to B flat harmonic minor. I'm going to take a second to think about what those notes are. It's always good to sort of know what you're going for before you start doing it, especially on scales. It can be so tempting to be like, oh, I know how to play a minor scale. I'll just start going for it. But if you actually think about where you're going, it gives you a lot better chance of actually getting it right on the first try so that your brain doesn't learn any mistakes. Yeah, the harmonic minor is kind of tricky in this pattern. I'm going to do it one more time now that I've gone through it and have a good idea where I'm going. That was much better. I might come back to that one, but I'm going to do the melodic minor as well. And this one I'm more familiar with. I'm not super happy with the sound quality. Nice. So I didn't have time to come back for the harmonic minor, but I felt pretty good about that. I also saw, hi, Keishana commented, hello, how are you doing? She said, I've been playing more pieces, recently started playing Serenade for clarinet, as well as the Swan Lake excerpt for orchestra. Nice. I hope that you're enjoying those pieces. It's always nice to play some pretty music and enjoy that. Thanks for joining. She says she still doesn't use a metronome. You should use a metronome. It's good for you. I promise. Actually, last week's video, my most recent uploaded video on Saturday, was all about why people sort of hate using the metronome and struggles with the metronome. So that one might be good for you, Keishana. But we're on to articulation for today. Doing the scale articulation. I'm still like sort of finding the sound quality, I think, so I'm not going to go too fast, but I am still going to use my metronome. Yeah, I'm really happy with the articulation, just not super happy with the sound quality. So I'm going to try it again. And again, I might do more repetitions on some specific notes to try to get that sound quality. better. I like that. Now I'm going to see if I can keep that sound quality and have to think about my tongue a little bit more because I was so focused on the sound quality, I wasn't actually thinking about my tongue that much. So a great way to think about the tongue more is to do it more staccato. So I have to think about what the tongue's doing both off the reed and back onto the reed. So let me try that. Staccato is also great for sound quality too. Let me do the higher notes one more time. And that's the articulation, which brings us on to our actual session for today. So let me swab real quick and actually talk about what the session is. I'm pretty excited for this one. This is sort of the most advanced fundamentals of this timeline. So today is page 39 through 41, the left hand and pinky practice. So what I said for the purpose. These exercises are like the finger flexibility exercises from the beginning of the book, but for the weakest fingers. As you do these, focus on keeping your finger motion as relaxed and minimal as possible. On the left hand exercises, you will probably want to move your wrist and fingers too much. And on the pinky practice, you will need to focus on the pinkies being independent and not getting the other fingers involved. So these are really good exercises for those sort of problem areas, which of course are the pinkies and the left hand stuff, those throat tone keys. And often when we're crossing the break is sort of where we end up squeaking. Just, more self-promotion, because I think it would be really worthwhile going to. On June 25th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, I'm doing a free training. You can go to quickstartclarinet.com/solutions to learn more about that. And in that training, I talk a bit about crossing the break and how to get the fingers a little bit better. So there's a little spoiler, a little teaser for that session for you. But let me pull up the book and let's go to page 39 and check that out. Oh, one thing in that purpose that I said too that maybe I'll change in a future version is I talk about the ring fingers and pinkies being the weakest fingers. I have actually recently learned, it was on TikTok, so who knows how scientifically accurate it is, but it makes sense to me that these fingers aren't actually weak. These are actually our strong, grabbing fingers, but what's actually they lack is precision. They're not very precise. These three fingers are quite dexterous and can move around as needed and are good for picking things up, and that's probably why we write with these fingers, whereas these are our grabbing fingers. So they aren't actually weak, they're uncoordinated, which I think brings a slightly different thought process to this. But let me start with the left hand practice, and this is going to be with the metronome because it's a technique exercise and playing in time is very important. Let's see. And again, not too fast because we want to get the quality first and then speed later. Oh, and let me do this. Yeah, standing up, you'll be able to see my fingers well. here I'm getting a little... I don't want any of that extra junk in between. And also notice that I'm really trying not to move my wrist at all, letting the fingers do all the work, and just this finger, not all of the fingers. This one's really tricky. It's this motion versus just taking the thumb off, so it's really easy to miss that coordination. And also with this finger having to move a bit from A to G flat, it's hard not to get all the fingers involved. This is a good one. And now we have the opposite where the thumb has to roll and this one's just coming on and off. And of course that's not even getting into the sound quality on the B flat, which I won't worry about too much for now, though it's not great. I've never noticed that when I press this sliver key, my pinky wants to come up. Let's see if I can not do that. Whew, that's a little tricky. Let's move on to the next one. Very similar exercise, but now we're starting on A and going around. Wow, it's really interesting how much my pinky wants to move on that. Yeah, I think when I'm doing my chromatic scale, it sort of automatically pushes up. Ooh, that's tricky. Try leaving your pinky on the key, not actually pressing it, but touching it, and then move this back and forth without moving your whole hand up and without this pinky leaving. That's a really good independent exercise for the left ring finger. Great. Now let's go on to the next one. So this is now on A flat, doing a similar pattern. Something else to be checking in as you're doing this is that the hand is staying relaxed and the right hand is staying relaxed. The right hand's not moving at all, so it should just be hanging out holding the clarinet on these. But it's easy for sometimes it to get tense as you're moving around your left hand. And that's that. Let me double check the time. Yeah, great. I have 2 minutes left. And one left hand exercise left. This one's really fun. It sort of is a little bit more musical, a little bit more like a technical etude where it moves through all of these in a still predictable pattern, but a little bit less monotonous as those. Those are really good though. And especially that pinky on the E flat key wanting to come up. I've never noticed that before. So it's great to do these in front of a mirror or a video so you can see yourself and get some practice with it. Okay, let's try this next one. And this one I don't think I can stand up, maybe after I play it a couple times, because I actually have to read the notes. Okay, I think I can do it now. So watch how little my hand's moving around it. It could be very easy to do it. way too much motion, but I'm trying to be as minimal and relaxed and perfectly rhythmically precise as possible. Also with good sound if I can. That's a bonus. And that's that exercise, and I'm actually out of time. So I'll stop there. I didn't actually finish the whole session. So next week I'm actually going to be revisiting this one because that's how you should do it. If you look in the actual timeline, hold on, let me turn the metronome off. If you look in the timeline, there's the sessions at the top, and on this one it says 1-3, meaning you should spend at least one. I think 3 sessions as like kind of a minimum would be a good idea on this, especially if you're not as familiar with these exercises as I am. And then of course feel free to do even more sessions than that. So I'm definitely going to have to revisit this one next time. I do want to get Keishana's questions too. She asked, are long tones needed? And if so, how do they help with air support? So that's a really good question. It sounds like maybe your purpose behind long tones is not quite right. I think it's very normal that people think long tones are about air support, but they aren't. They are about sound quality. So if you want to sound good, maybe you can do that without doing long tones and just by playing music and practicing. But long tones are the most simple and most straightforward way to really think about the sound quality and really get them. If you think about long tones, the notes are very simple. You can hold the notes as long as you want. You don't have to worry about where your fingers are going. So it gives you plenty of time to really find the sound quality. It's not so much about air support or air endurance, but it's about making the air go well. And she asks, what exercises help with air support then? So you can use long tones to work on air support, but you have to do them like with a metronome and say, I'm going to hold this note for 16 counts or something like that. And that is helpful for air support. I think like the endurance of the air, assuming that's what you're talking about, is being able to go longer in one breath, is actually not something that I spend much time practicing. I don't think most professionals spend that much time practicing that because it's something that you just develop working on music. I think it's a little bit more complicated than just building up your lungs. You could do something like the breathing gym. That's a great book. The breathing gym is in like gymnasium. It was written by 2 tuba players, so they really know what they're talking about when it comes to air and having enough air in the lungs, and it's a whole bunch of breathing exercises. So if you want to actually get better at breath endurance, then the breathing gym is a good resource for that. But ultimately, when it comes to playing the clarinet, I think just playing music is the way to do it. Especially the Brahms sonatas, which are a little bit more advanced, but they have some just beautiful, very long phrases. So they're a really good test of your air endurance. And it's much more satisfying to try to hold your air and hold the air support to make a musical phrase happen and get to the actual resolution rather than just arbitrarily holding long notes. But long tones are very important for sound quality, because if you can't do simple long tones like that and make them sound good, then there's no way you're going to sound good on like or whatever music you happen to be playing. Great. So those were great questions. I'm going to fill out my progress for this week. Next week, we're going to be doing this one again, not the left-hand stuff, but the pinky practice part of it, which I didn't get to in today's session, which is totally fine. Remember, you're just taking your 15 minutes to make as much progress as you can. You can come back to the same exercise if you don't feel comfortable with it next time, as long as you just keep making progress. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week on the next live timeline session.